From Mencari Newsroom at redmencari.com.
This is Miko Santos with today's rundown. Here are today's top stories for Wednesday, May 21st, 2025. We begin with a breaking political news that's sending shockwave through Canberra. The National Party has formally announced it's leaving the Liberal National Coalition, ending one of Australia's longest political alliances. Political analyst Dr. Daniel Fascio explained the significance.
This split here will have immediate consequences for Australian politics generally and for the Liberal and National Party. But over the long run, I expect that they'll have no option other than to come together again, because if you have a look at the raw numbers, they need each other to be able to form majority governments.
National Party leader David Littleproud cited irreconcilable differences over several key policies during his announcement yesterday.
We're making a principled position about not what we're prepared to give up on, but to build on what we've achieved and to move forward. So it's with great disappointment that I announced that we're not going to form part of that coalition. We'll be pragmatic and we'll work constructively with Susan and her team to make sure that we bring down the Albanese government after the next election.
The split centres around disagreement over nuclear power, regional funding, and supermarket competition policy. Liberal leader Susan Lee expressed disappointment but left the door open for future cooperation.
It is disappointing that the National Party has decided today to leave the coalition. But the most important thing I want to say is this. The Nationals' door remains open and our door remains open. And we look forward with optimism to rejoining at some point in the future.
The breakup marks only the fourth time in over a century this has happened, raising questions about the future viability of both parties in securing government. In economic news, the Reserve Bank has announced another interest rate cut, lowering the cash rate from 4.1% to 3.85%. This is the second rate reduction in 3 months, providing welcome relief for mortgage holders.
Underlying inflation are now under 3%. And if you ignore the more volatile items in the headline CPI, our forecasts see the underlying pulse of inflation around the midpoint of the 2 to 3% range over the next year or so. So price increases have slowed and it's fairly broadly based, and this is very good news. The board's strategy over quite some time has been to bring inflation down while avoiding a sharp rise in unemployment. This is consistent with our dual mandate of price stability and full employment.
The decision comes amid growing global economic uncertainty, particularly related to U.S. trade policy. Treasurer Jim Chalmers welcomed the rate cut during a press conference yesterday.
Well, today the Independent Monetary Policy Board of the Reserve Bank decided to lower the cash rate once again. This is the second interest rate cut in the last 3 months. This is very welcome relief for millions of Australians. We are really pleased to see more help is on the way for working families with a mortgage, and that's what this decision today is all about. It does reflect the very substantial and sustained progress that we've made together on inflation in our economy, and it also recognises the uncertain global environment as well.
The RBA emphasized that while inflation is now back within their target range, global trade tension could pose a significant risk to economic growth. Australia is strengthening its relationship with Pacific nation, with Foreign Minister Penny Wong announcing additional health funding during her visit to Fiji.
We are the largest and most comprehensive development partner in the region, and we have lifted our development levels development assistance to record levels to more than $2.1 billion to the Pacific, and we have recognised also the global aid cuts and the effect of those, and we have dedicated almost half of our development program to support the Pacific. And of course, as I outlined today, we're backing the Pacific on climate, including with our legislated cuts to our emissions, our ambitious renewable energy target of 82% by 2030 and partnering with the Pacific in our bid to host COP31 to elevate Pacific voices and to drive global action.
The announcement comes as Australia positioned itself as a key development partner in the region, particularly after recent US aid cut under the Trump administration. Wong also reaffirmed Australia's commitment to climate action, highlighting legislated emission targeted and renewable energy goals. The increased regional focus reflects Australia's strategic priorities in maintaining influence amid growing geopolitical competition in the Pacific. Returning to our top story, Treasurer Jim Chalmers didn't hold back when describing the opposition split, calling it a nuclear meltdown that advantaged the Albanese government.
Well, I think it remains to be seen how long this lasts. It is a seismic event in our political history. I think that's really clear. And I think it shows that the most basic elementary test here has been failed and fallen at the first hurdle. And so, as I said before, it is rare, but as I said before, it's consequential because the divisions in the coalition were unable to be reconciled. And I think it does show that the former coalition parties learned nothing from the election result. They've learned nothing from the last 3 years. They're focused inwardly on themselves while the Albanese government is focused on governing. So it's a nuclear meltdown. They are a smoking ruin. And I think developments today made that really clear.
Political analysts suggest the fractured opposition gives Labour an easier path to a second term. Question remain about whether the split is permanent or temporary. And that's our bulletin for today. For more details on these stories and the latest breaking news, visit our website at readmencari.com. I'm Miko Santos. Thank you for listening.
Subscribe to Mencari for news with authentic Gen X perspective. Cutting through the noise with zero fluff. Available now across all podcast platforms. News without the noise, perspective without the panic.